Happy Information Wednesday, Chalyce McQueen here. Per my teaser, I do want to talk about some insurance horror stories and really dive into why it's so important to have the coverage that you need to protect yourself and your family. That's where my famous tagline came in, are you protected? And it really is a valuable question to ask yourself. I know that with insurance, it's something that we all are required to have and we hate paying for it. And so we're always trying to find ways to cut corners and save costs on our insurance. And the reality is insurance is not something that we can afford to take a risk on and have either a low budget company or have inadequate coverage. In Arizona specifically, we have outrageous auto expenses. Our auto insurance is just through the roof. And a lot of that, unfortunately, is related to our geographical location being a border state. And as you all know, newsflash, our borders are back open. Thanks, President Biden. So what happens is you're paying for uninsured and underinsured motorists because, let's be honest, you have people coming from all different parts of the country across the border that don't have car insurance or adequate insurance. And that's why a big portion as to why your auto insurance is so expensive. And because it's so expensive, people try to cut corners and do state minimum coverage or a lower liability limit. So for example, Arizona, our state minimum requirement for bodily injury is $25,050, which does absolutely nothing for us. For example, whiplash alone has about a $28,000 award for someone that got whiplash in a car. So using your $25,000 limit, if someone was awarded $28,000 for whiplash, not even including property damage to the vehicle, you already are over the budget for what your insurance is going to pay out, which leaves you, of course, exposure to having to write a check yourself. So horror story number one, we're talking about a car accident. So you're in a car accident, there's property damage, there's someone got hurt, you have all those medical bills piling up, you have an attorney now involved, and you have inadequate coverage. So what happens? Well, you're going to get sued. Your wages are going to be garnished. You could have a lien on your property that you own. And one way or another, they're going to collect from you. I don't care if you have the means today to pay or you don't. You don't have to be a millionaire to be sued like one. So it's really important you have adequate coverage in the event that you do have an unfortunate incident where you were to get an accident at fault and you were to hurt somebody. Second on our list, we're talking about workers' compensation insurance. Arizona, it is required by law that you have workers' comp. Whether you have one employee or 50, you are required to have it. And workers' compensation is definitely not something that you should go without, even if you are in one of the two states in the U.S. that does not require it. What does workers' compensation do for you? It provides medical bills. It takes care of wages that might have been missed for the employees being hurt, funeral expenses, legal protection for you, the owner. So here's the horror story. Two gentlemen were on a forklift. The forklift malfunctioned and the two gentlemen fell 25 feet down to the ground. You can imagine the pain, suffering, and torture that they endured by making that fall, the medical bills that they're going to have, the loss of wages they're going to have. And guess what? If you don't have workers' compensation, where do you think they're going to come after to pay for all of those bills? You get it, you. Third on our list, we're talking about homeowners insurance. A majority of homeowners policies out there are properly equipped with personal liability coverage, are reconstruction costs, loss of use, etc. But I have come across several clients, and by several I mean a handful of clients in the past quarter that live in condominiums that don't have proper insurance for their actual condo, meaning reconstruction of the property itself, because they believe that their HOA was covering their back and was going to take care of their condo in the event there was an actual loss. Guess what? This is not exactly the case. Some of these insurance policies will cover a portion of your interior of your property, but a majority of them are exterior only. So it's very important to make sure that you audit your policy with your agent and make sure you have adequate coverage to rebuild your property, have the personal property coverage, the liability, and loss of use if you do in fact have a claim. Number 4 on our list, we're talking about life insurance, which is one of my favorite topics because it's a very underappreciated topic of conversation. People don't want to think about it. They don't want to spend the money on it. But if you had 15 minutes left and you're on your deathbed, what would you want your family or whomever your legacy plan is to know? And I would hope that you'd want them to know that they're taken care of. So the fourth tragedy for our story today, we're talking about a 43-year-old male that had a sudden heart attack and unfortunately dropped dead. He left behind his stay-at-home wife, who also was a mother of 3. So they have no income coming in. There was no money to bury him. They had to sell their house and relocate to a less than desirable part of town. She now has to be concerned about not only how she's going to maintain their monthly lifestyle of just food and expenses and rent, but now she has no idea how she'll put her children through college. It is so, once more, it's so important to leave a legacy plan behind. Again, if you're single, it does not matter. You carry debt. You have expenses. It costs money to put you in the ground or cremate you. It does not matter. You need to have a legacy plan. Again, life insurance has really 2 different purposes. One, of course, is your death benefit, take care of your family. And 2, there's an opportunity for an investment vehicle for a supplement of retirement income. But when you're putting together life insurance, you want to think about income replacement, expenses, your debt, and of course, education for your family if that is important. And when you think of income, you're looking for 5 to 7 years of income replacement. So do yourself a favor and your loved ones and make sure that you have a legacy plan in place and you have life insurance of some form available for the event that you have an untimely death. As always, I hope you enjoyed the conversation today. Again, I know insurance is not a sexy topic. It's not fun to pay for. We hate having to talk about it and think about it and pay for it, but it is something that's an absolute necessity, not a luxury, including life insurance. So do yourself a favor. Ask yourself, are you protected? We'll see y'all next week. If I could be of any assistance in the meantime, you can call me at 602-525-5665 or email me at cmcqueen@farmersagent.com. Bye.